Hello, hello, and welcome to Tyrion, Cuthbert, Attorney of the Arcane. It's another Ace Attorney-like visual novel, or perhaps comparing it to Ace Attorney versus Professor Layton would have been more apt, because I think the setting is a little bit more like that game. We have magic, we have a more fantasy-ish setting, but it's still a courtroom drama-y kind of a game, just in that setting. Should it be cool? I know the music in this game is amazing. I immediately went and liked a lot of the videos on Spotify for the soundtrack of this game when it released. But I have no idea what the plot or the story or anything is, so let's go. From the top. I don't know if you could even... Can you even start... Why would I want to start from episode 2? I prefer to start at the beginning. I was transporting a client in my carriage that evening. We were driving by the McCoy Tavern when we heard a disturbance. I was worried that something was amiss, so I walked into the building to see what the commotion was. There, I saw the defendant. She was lit by the blue glow of the dining room lights, and she was stabbing the victim with her magical sword.
Objection!
Mr. Rudolph, you testified that you saw my client murdering the victim, and you supposedly saw her casting magic while doing so. Yes, I could never forget such a grisly sight. The moment was burned into my memory. I see. Well, it's funny that you say that. How so? Because your entire testimony was a complete lie. What?
Objection!
Are you accusing the witness of perjury? Surely you know that such accusations can't be made lightly, Mr. Cuthbert. The accusation is far from unpronounceable, Steelwind. Think about the state of the crime scene at the time of the murder. The witness couldn't have seen anything, much less a homicide. He knows something. Damn it. Damn it! Flintheart, you fool. Why couldn't you have just listened to me? Rudolph, I require your assistance. Yes, sir? By the Scaled Lord, what did you... You killed him? Alert the town guards. Tell them that you saw his daughter fleeing the scene. I'm sure their neighbours heard them arguing with each other. They'll immediately suspect her. At once, sir. Ugh. Are you sure you're okay, Cuthbert? You look like you're about to pass out. Don't worry about me, Mr. Mona. I'm fine. I'm perfectly fine. If you say so. Ugh. On second thought... That's better. Sorry about this. I didn't expect the roads in this town to be this uneven. I suppose that I get a lot of traffic here. Hello, travellers! Welcome to Cornhaven. Would a pair of dignified individuals such as yourselves care for a refreshing drink? Well, I don't need a drink, but, Ah, of course, I have just the thing for an upset stomach. How about 2 flasks of apple juice for 50 silver pieces? I'm not even from here, and I can tell that's extortionate. 50 SP? You may find the price daunting, but this is organic and fresh-made apple juice. Uh-huh. Is this... Okay, fine. We're tutorializing it like this, I see. Trust me, it's worth the extra gold. This seems like, typical stuff. I think you need to elaborate. You said that this apple juice is organic, but where is it made? It's produced by the hard-working people of this town, of course. In a small town like ours, we only deal with locally sourced products. And other than that, we have a whole lot of nothing. Well, we have some profiles. Not that much information about either of these, though. Well... You say that, but I can see an empty bottle of store-bought juice inside your shop. Why would he have something like that if he only deal with organic products? Oh, how did that get there? Make no mistake. I only have that because I wanted to see how my products compare to that of the city. And let me tell you, that mass-produced slop doesn't even compare to my product. Honestly, I'm offering you a very good deal. Well, this is different from the norm, but easy enough. So it's obvious those flasks are only worth 5 SP. But what? How did you... Well, it's clear you're a very shrewd man. Right. How about 20 SP for 3 flasks? Of course, sir. Big dragon. Very big dragon. King Oliver de Wyvengard. Thank you. I didn't know you had such an eye for rural economics. Well, I suppose I just have a good intuition for this sort of thing. Or did you use another kind of eye? Don't get me wrong, your so-called Eye of Horus is an amazing gift. You should take every opportunity to hone it, but try to be more subtle next time. If I can see through you, others will be able to as well. Right. Anyways, I did some asking around while you were haggling. Supposedly, the McCoy Tavern should be north of here. If my tip is correct, this should be the place. The background has not changed, but sure. Wait, this is the McCoy Tavern? It looks a bit more like a barn than a tavern. Perhaps. The tavern has been shut down for years. Nowadays, Flynnheart just uses it to host his rallies. Though I do wonder how they've been keeping themselves afloat for this long. Hey, you lot, the McCoy Tavern is closed. I take it that you're Flynnheart McCoy. I am? What of it? He is! Sorry for not writing ahead of time, but I'm Ruby Timora. I wanted to speak with you. Ruby Timora? Wait, the Ruby Timora? Why didn't you say so? Come on in. Sorry about the mess. We haven't exactly been... well, anyways, what brings you here? Nice painting. I take it you didn't journey all this way just to see my wrecked tavern. I'm here on behalf of a client. We have a proposition that you might be interested in. Is there anywhere we can talk more privately? Sure. Kitchen is empty. Wonderful. Tyrion, stay here while I speak with McCoy. What? Don't you need my help? There's no need for that. Sure are a lot of mugs. It looks like they're gonna be a while. Checkmate! I've played 10 games already, and I've won 7 out of 10 times as black. Hello? Statistically, white is more likely to win. So why am I performing so much better when playing as black? Hello? Becoming overconfident as white because it has a first move advantage? Perhaps that very advantage is affecting my choices and making me play in a suboptimal manner. If a personal quirk isn't making me play it logically, then I need to correct it. Hey! What? How long have you been standing there? It's about time you noticed me. I've been trying to get your attention for a while now. Oh. Sorry. Do you know where my dad is? Your dad? Linhart McCoy. I'm his daughter, Celeste. Oh, Flintheart is speaking with my mentor right now. Oh, I wanted to show him something. Do you know when they'll be done? I don't know. They've been speaking in the kitchen for a while now. Hours, apparently. This is chess, right? Are you playing against someone? Oh, I'm playing against myself, actually. Oh. That's... Playing alone helps me develop new strategies. Plenty of professionals do it. First I've ever heard of it. But then again, pretty sure you don't have AI chess computers in this setting. So, hey, I'm not the type to shame a man for playing with himself. That's... Relax, I'm just joking. Anyways, if you're still waiting for your mentor, do you want to play a game? Oh, you know how to play? Sure, I've read about this before. Ugh, this table is so dusty. How do I arrange these things again? Here, I'll arrange them for you. Thanks! Checkmate! Wait, what? Already? How did you do that? The Fool's Mate, I believe, is the only one possible in 2 moves. Rematch me. I want a do-over. Sure, why not? Here! Checkmate. Scholar's mate. What? Come on, how do you keep doing that? Again, I'll definitely beat you this time. Checkmate. How are you always one step ahead of me? It's like you're reading my mind. Just one more game. I'll get you this time. Hello, Cuthbert. Hi, Dad. Oh, hello, sweetie. What's this? Some kind of game? Don't feel too bad about losing to him. He's nationally ranked. Oh, you're a professional. Is that why you're wearing a suit? No, chess is just a hobby. I'm actually a defense attorney. An attorney? Speaking of which, we should probably be on our way. Aye, sorry for refusing you after you came all this way. I really respect what you're doing, but I don't want anything to do with your mage friends. Anyways, it is getting late. If you leave now, you won't get back to the city until morning. She's right. This region is littered with bandits and brigands. Aren't they all? You wouldn't want to run into them this late. I guess you have a point. We plenty of empty rooms that you can stay in until morning. The least I can do after you came all this way. Well, if it's not too much trouble, we might as well stay here until tomorrow. Tavern is shut down, but we still have some sheets and blankets. I'll go get the rooms ready. So, I take it that negotiations didn't go well? No. I didn't expect him to be so stubborn. Honestly, I have no idea what that man has against the mages. Well, there is one way to find out. Why are you being so secretive? If your business with Flynnheart is related to our clients, I can help. It wasn't important, and your presence was not necessary. So sorry to interrupt, but your rooms are ready now. Right. Thank you. You were playing chess with Flynnheart's daughter earlier. Was she any good? Not at first, but she got a lot better as we kept playing. I'm sorry for leaving you there for so long. I didn't expect our discussion to last that long. No, it's fine. Despite everything, I enjoyed playing against her. I see. Well, I suppose you are at that age. No, it's not like that. It's just that outside of tournaments, I never really get to play against another player. And you only ever want to play shogi against me. Because shogi is clearly superior. It's complete anarchy is what it is. You just bring fallen pieces back to life like some kind of necromancer. It adds depth. Dropping adds a dimension of play that isn't present in chess. I'm sorry if it looks like I don't trust you. I know you're just trying to help. But there are some things about my work that I just can't tell you about yet. But one day, I'll tell you everything. Right. I'm sorry for prying. I just want to show you I'm ready to be an attorney. You are. I know you are. Anyways, get some rest. You should mentally prepare yourself for the journey tomorrow. Right. What? Presents? Finally found. I finally found you, Heavensborn. Calm down. It was just a dream. Please, just let me explain. I don't want to hear it. I want you out of my house. Out! What was that all about? Damn it. Sorry, I just heard... Right. Forgot you two, Is everything okay? Sorry, I'm just going to... Celeste? Are you still here? Celeste? Celeste? Where are you? Ugh. Oh, you're that kid from before. You have any idea what time it is? This isn't the city. You can't just make a bunch of noise like this. Right. Sorry. I was just looking for Celeste. Who? Celeste McCoy. She's Flintheart's daughter. Do you know them? What do you want with that? Damn mage? But what? Those two probably woke up half the street with all their yelling. I don't need you keeping us up too. If I hear any more noise, I'm gonna call the town guard. Can't believe I said those things to her. She'll never forgive me for this. I see your temper is as short as ever, Flintheart. You? Honestly, how do you live in this darkness? Luxo? What are you doing here? And how dare you bring that witchcraft into my home? You've been busy lately. The little rallies have gained quite a lot of support. Too much support from my family's liking. And what, you came all this way to convince me to stop? You have my word. If you stop spreading dissidence, no harm will come to you or your family. Huh. Your word is as good as the dirt you lick off King Oliver's boots. As if I'd ever trust the words of a murderer like you. Flintheart, please. As someone you once called a friend, I'm only going to ask you one time. Friend? Friend? I'll be dead in the ground before I ever call the likes of you a friend. Get out of my house. I don't have time for your nonsense. Unfortunately, I don't think you'll have much time for anything. Damn it. Damn it! Flintheart, you fool. Why couldn't you have just listened to me? Well, here we are again. Rudolph, I require your assistance. Yes, sir? Like the Scaled Lord, what did you... You killed him? Again. For the second time. Alert the town guard, tell them you saw his daughter fleeing the scene. I'm sure their neighbours heard them arguing with each other. They'll immediately suspect her. At once, sir. What am I going to do now? Oh! I've been looking all over for you. Oh, sorry. I'm guessing we woke you up? Yeah. Is everything okay? It's nothing. It was just an argument. Have you been looking for me all this time? I have. Thank you. But I'm okay now. You should head back. What about you? I think I'm gonna stay out a little longer. I'm sure whatever happened between you two, it's nothing you can't talk out. It doesn't happen a lot, but sometimes Mr. Morrow and I get into fights too. But no matter what happens, we are always able to talk through it. Sorry, I know it's none of my business, but I just... No, I really appreciate it, thank you. You're right. Let's go back. What? Is that the Inquisition? What? The Arcane Inquisition. They're an order of knights that investigate crimes committed using magic. What? No! No! There she is. Celeste McCoy, by the authority of the Wyvern Guard Crown, I'm placing you under arrest. What are you doing to her? What is going on here? Tyrion. Mr. Mora? Bah, I should have known that he was one of yours. Just stay out of our way. Mr. Mora, what's going on? Why is the Inquisition here? I'm surprised myself. But from what I understand, Flynnhart McCoy has been murdered. Murdered? Yeah, twice. This is ridiculous. She has a right to speak to an attorney. Yeah, well, we can't let you see her until she's been processed. Her trial is in an hour. How has she not been processed yet? Don't know what to tell you, kid. I wish I could help. So, you're already planning on defending her. Do you know if she can even afford a lawyer? I just can't stand here and do nothing. You saw them, didn't you? There's no way she would murder her father like that. I know that look. I was saving this for a special occasion, but, woo! Attorney's badge. Or equivalent. This is... an attorney's runestone? If you're going to defend her, you're going to need one. Don't cry, Cuthbert. Sorry. Anyways, keep one thing in mind. If you try to defend her, the Inquisition isn't going to fight you fairly. Our court system only exists to create the illusion of justice. I hate people like us, and they'll do everything in their power to sabotage you. Ugh. What's with all this noise? You're that knight from the tavern. That's Commander Orm White to you, kid. You have a little bit of a detective bad-ish look about you. It's just the brown coat, though, really. I had a feeling Tamora would be sniffing around this case. I didn't expect her to send a kid to do her dirty work. Commander, he says that he wants to talk to the mage. And? She's gotten a right to an attorney, doesn't she? Well, she hasn't been processed. The hell kind of shit are you trying to pull? Let him through, you idiot! Yes, sir. Sounds about right. Oh, it's you. What are you doing here? Miss Tamora told me about what happened to your father. I'm so sorry. I just don't understand. I don't understand any of this. Why would someone do this? And why are they blaming me for it? I'm not sure about the details, but it's clear that there were elements of magic involved in what happened. Since they arrested you based on that evidence, I can only conclude one thing. Celeste, you're a mage, aren't you? Yes, I am. Kinda guessed by the fact it lists an arcane art over here in the text box. Do you have noble blood? Of course not. Why would you say that? Sorry, but the ability to use magic is hereditary. Most mages tend to have some kind of noble blood. I honestly don't like thinking about that. I'm the daughter of Jolene and Flynnhart McCoy. That's all I need to know about myself. Anyways, you are probably arrested because you're a mage. What? The crime was committed using magic, and you were the only mage around at the time. Is that seriously the only reason? I only know how to cast one spell! The Arcane Inquisition doesn't care about the truth, they only care about closing their cases. Celestial case is being pushed to trial. They're going to be brought before a judge within the hour. What? No one told me anything! If you'll have me, I'd like to be your defense counsel for the trial. Right. I forgot that you are an attorney. Would you really do that for me? After everything I've seen them do, I can't just stand by and do nothing. But they're a part of the kingdom. Do we even have a chance? Celeste, man, king, or god, I won't let them do anything to you. What? Sorry, it's just something I have a habit of saying. The word what, apparently. That's gotta be like our 6th what so far. No, don't apologise. I really appreciate you doing this. The gallery is being very loud. A courtroom. I'm in a real courtroom. That was a very violent gavel slam, Mr. Judge. Court is now in session for the trial of Celeste McCoy. Prosecution is ready, Your Honour. Oh, the defence is also ready, Your Honour. He doesn't necessarily sound very ready. Regardless, let's begin the proceedings. Prosecutor Steelwind, please list the charges. The defendant is Celeste McCoy, a mercenary for hire and a registered mage. Well, apparently the setting is advanced enough for them to do holograms. So maybe they do have AI chess-playing robots. Wait, did she just say mercenary? Yeah, I had to take up a job after my family's tavern was shut down. Oh, right. She is charged with second-degree murder and negligent misuse of the arcane arts. I see, so there was magic involved. Yes, the crime occurred within the McCoy Tavern, a local inn that shut down years ago. The locals reported hearing a loud commotion coming from within the building. Hours later, a carriage driver that was nearby checked the disturbance. It was then that he found the victim, the defendant's sword, still impaling his dead body. The Inquisition has provided an autopsy report and a record of the sword. Evidence! Gimme. Died after being stabbed from behind with a magical blade. Fatal wound shows heavy traces of transmutation magic. Alleged murder weapon, an ornately designed sword with no magical properties. What was the defendant's relationship with the victim? I see that they share the same last name. Defendant is the victim's daughter, but not by blood. She was adopted into the family when she was an infant. Her birth parents are currently unknown, and therefore vitally important to the overarching plot of the game. Calling it now. I see. What an unfortunate turn of events. To begin, the prosecution would like to call Commander Orm White to the stand. Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court. Name's Orm White. I'm Commander of the Arcane Inquisition. Well, you seem relatively reasonable, so that's a good start. Orm, could you please testify about the details of the Inquisition's investigation? Yeah. We got a call late at night. Someone discovered a dead body inside the McCoy Tavern. When we arrived on the scene, we found Flintheart McCoy dead on the floor. Defendant's sword was still inside of him. We have several witnesses who heard the victim and defendant in a loud argument before the body was discovered. Their argument must have turned ugly, because the defendant killed the victim using her magic sword. Mr. Cuthbert, you may begin your cross-examination. Mr. Cuthbert? Hey, what are you doing? This is the part where you say something, right? I am sorry, I don't... What a disappointment. I was hoping to fight against the infamous Ruby Tamora today. But it's clear you can't even hold a candle to her. Your Honour, it's clear the defence has nothing to say against the prosecution's overwhelming evidence, that you've barely presented any of. Yep, case is pretty open and shut. No, wait! I'm sorry, Tyrion. I couldn't acquit Frey. She was found guilty. What? But that means... Are they going to execute her? This is 10 years ago, if our age gap is any indication. Tyrion, you need to calm down. I'm sorry, I didn't mean for this to... Stop, just listen to me. You know what to do, right? Just do it the same way you play chess. I'm not playing Ace Attorney Investigations here, I'm not Miles Edgeworth. I cannot logic chess. What? I don't know, you're just so calm and focused when we were playing before. No matter how close I got to beating you, you always knew how to stay calm and win. So just channel that feeling and look at the pieces? That doesn't make any sense. And yet, Miles Edgeworth could do it, so why can't I? My apologies for the delay, Your Honour. The defence is ready to begin cross-examining the witness. Very well. There we go. Here we go indeed. Okay, well, this is clearly correct. This is also clearly correct. 2 and 4 are potential possibilities. Things to at least have a press on. How did you know that the sword was my client's? The sword is made out of some kind of special alloy. I think it was forged out of the country or something. It'd be hard to mistake something like that. We also have several eyewitnesses who verified that the sword belongs to the defendant. She made no effort to hide it from the public. Quite the contrary, she was quite proud to show it off. But even if the sword belongs to my client, that doesn't necessarily mean that she was the one who stabbed him. Yeah, well. And let's have a press on this one as well. That's conjecture. Weren't there plenty of people around who could have committed the crime? The tavern has been closed for years. The defendant, the victim, and Ruby Tomorrow were the only ones there before the body was discovered. Plus, the murder weapon definitely belonged to her. Right. How do I even get to my things? That button. We have a ton of profiles here as well. 19 bodyguard, apparently. Thought it was mercenary. Well, this sword says it isn't magical.
Objection!
Commander White, he testified that the victim was killed using the defendant's magical sword. Am I correct? Yeah, it's pretty obvious when you look at the crime scene. I think I'd actually have to disagree with you on that. The defendant's sword couldn't possibly have been the murder weapon. What are you talking about, kid? The sword was inside his body. Of course that's what killed him. That may be the case, but take a look at the autopsy report. It states that the fatal wound had heavy traces of magic. So how would a non-magical sword leave traces of magic on the body? What? To leave a trace like that, the wound would have had to have been created with something magical. My client's sword may look fancy and expensive, but it is entirely mundane. That doesn't make a lick of sense. If the sword didn't kill him, then why was it in the body? Yes, I found that quite strange as well. Well, there's only one reasonable explanation, Your Honor. The wound was created magically, and someone shoved the sword into the wound afterward. The hell are you talking about? Defendant is a damned mage. She could have easily killed the victim using magic. That may be, Commander, but why would she kill the victim using magic and then stab him with her sword? She would just be incriminating herself. No, if anything, a series of events proves one thing. Someone used magic to kill the victim, and then they pushed my client's sword into the wound to frame her.
Objection!
Don't get ahead of yourself. What? I think we're up to like 8 now? Your Honor, the defense is trying to spin the facts in his favour. He claims that a third party committed the crime and used the sword to frame the defendant. But wouldn't the simpler explanation be this? Magic was being channeled through the sword at the time of death. That is what left the magical trace on the body. Commander, please tell the defense how the murder was committed using magic. What? I need like a counter. I need a what counter. A what the counter. What the counter? Alright. Alright. I think I see where you're going with this. It's true that the sword itself isn't magical, but magic can still be channeled through it. That defendant over there, her spell compendium, has a spell called Mage Blade. She must have used it on her sword before stabbing the victim. That spell is the reason why there are traces of transmutation magic on the wound. Celeste, do you have your spell compendium with you? No, I left it at the tavern after... well, you know. Pressity press. We may just have to press everything here, because I don't have enough information. So, from the top, magic can still be channeled through the sword. Are you saying that my client used a spell and channeled it through her sword? There are a vast number of spells that operate like that. Spells from the School of Transmutation are almost always channeled through an object. Mage Blade? I just said that. It's a transmutation spell that sharpens my sword. I usually use it when I need to cut through an enemy's plate armor. But anyways, wouldn't it be excessive for the defendant to use a spell like that on the victim? He wasn't wearing any kind of armor at the time of death. The victim and the defendant were in an intense argument. Perhaps she used the spell in a fit of rage. It was a crime of passion, after all. Well, it would have been tricky to use it afterwards, I would have thought. But why would she go to the trouble of doing that? A sword alone would have been enough to commit the murder. Mages are always looking for an excuse to throw their power around. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Isn't that just your own personal bias, Commander? We don't need to understand why the defendant did what she did. The fact of the matter is that magic was present at the crime. Do you have any evidence to the contrary? Traces of transmutation magic on the wound, which I believe the autopsy report did mention. If she used a spell like that, wouldn't that have created traces of magic on the ground? How so? Well, let's say we follow the prosecution's theory. That would mean the victim fell to the ground with the sword still inside him. At this point, Mage Blade would still be active, right? Would definitely leave a magical trace on the ground after making physical contact with it. We're already way ahead of you. We had our people scan the crime scene, and we found traces of transmutation magic right under the body, just like you said. Oh. You still don't believe me? I have a picture of the crime scene right here. Oh? Why was this picture not brought to my attention? There was no need. There is always need. Gimme those photos. Looks like there are traces of magic on the ground. The shape is a little weird. What was that just now? See, right in this photo, she killed him with a stab from the front. Ah, I see where we're going with this. First up, though. Okay, yes. Sword. There's the shattered bottle over here that he was holding at the time. Died after being stabbed from behind with a magical blade.
Objection!
I'm sorry, Commander White, but it seems that you presented another glaring contradiction. Oh yeah? And what's that? You said that my client stabbed the victim from the front. Am I correct? Yeah, you can see it plain in that picture. So where's your contradiction? That's the thing, Commander. Your picture clearly shows that the victim was stabbed from the front, but the autopsy report says he died from a stab from behind. What?
Objection!
Orm, you were supposed to release everything that you had. Why wasn't this photo given to me? There was no need! There's no way it could have been anyone other than that damn mage. Order! Order in the court! Mr. Cuthbert, what is the meaning of this? I'll tell you what the meaning behind this is, Your Honour. As the autopsy report states, the victim died from a stab wound originating from his back. But this photo clearly shows that the sword entered from his front. This can only mean one thing. The sword was inserted into the wound after the fatal wound had already been created. That's crazy! Do you honestly expect us to believe that? Then please enlighten me, Commander White. How else would the sword be facing the opposite way? Do you think my client stabbed the victim with the hilt of her sword? I didn't think so. What really happened is clear. The real murderer stuck the sword through the victim's wound to implicate my client. They made a careless mistake and stuck the sword through the opposite side.
Objection!
It appears that I underestimated you, Mr. Cuthbert. But you still got ahead of yourself. Really, Miss Steelwind? I believe that Mr. Cuthbert has adequately cast doubt on your case. Oh, did he now? Then let me ask you one question, Mr. Cuthbert. If your client didn't kill Finhart McCoy, then who did? And why do we care? This is the thing that always comes up. Why we're disproving our client not guilty. We don't have to prove who actually did it. We just have to prove our client not guilty. How should I know? If I'm not mistaken, it's the commander's job to figure that out. Precisely. Oh, I'm well aware of the commander's incompetence. But one fact still stands. There was magic detected on the wound and the sword. Would you like for me to tell you how many mages live in that small town? Just one. There's only one registered mage in that entire town. That mage is your client. Ding! The what counter goes up. The defendant was also established to have been with the victim hours before his death. She was the last known person with him, and she was the only mage there. In addition to that, I have several witnesses who heard them arguing. How she murdered the victim is simply an unanswered question. I see. That certainly does change matters. I can't say that the prosecution's evidence is irrefutable, but there is still evidence that casts guilt upon the defendant. There are far too many unanswered questions for me to pass a verdict. We'll give law enforcement time to clear these unknowns. I suggest that they conduct their investigation more thoroughly this time. We'll resume the trial tomorrow morning. That was a very short trial section. Court is adjourned. Hello, Cuthbert. Miss Tamora, you're here? Well, at the end of the day, you were able to pull it together. And once you did that, you performed adequately. On that note, I wanted to give you this. Mage Blade. Transmutation spell. Duration 1 minute. The duration of the spell, the edges of this object, usually a blade, become unnaturally sharp, making it more effective at slashing through tough material. While under the effects of the spell, the object emits a yellow radiant glow. Target object must be no larger than a 5-foot cube. I swapped it from the dining area before the Inquisition arrived. I thought it would be best for you to have it. So, this is your spell compendium. And it only has one spell. Mage Blade. This means the prosecution has to prove that Celeste used that specific spell. It will restrict how they approach this case, which gives you an edge over them. But that prosecutor is really something else. You mean Prosecutor Steelwind? As opposed to the 800 other prosecutors that were in the room at the time? You wouldn't even know it, but this was also her first trial. Really? I thought that her inexperience would make for a good first opponent, but that girl, she's a natural in the courtroom. It makes me wonder why a Steelwind would choose to become an attorney in the first place. What do you mean? The Steelwinds are a powerful noble house. Of the noble families, they're one of the few who answer directly to the king. Most members of their house take high-ranking positions in the kingdom's military. So it's a bit strange that she chose to become a prosecutor despite that. Steelwind. I feel like I've heard it somewhere before. In any case, it's best that you focus on the trial. You have about a day until court resumes. Right, now that I have time, I'd like to ask you some questions, Celeste. Namely about that argument you had with your father. Oh. I should probably go. I'll also use this opportunity to investigate the crime scene. I wouldn't be surprised if the Inquisition missed something. You utterly embarrassed them today. Don't expect them to make the same mistake twice. Right, there's still a lot of things we don't know about. As much as I hate to admit it, your skills of deduction far surpass mine. If anyone can figure out what really happened that night, it's you.